title. Yeah, man, we're live. I'm just gonna edit the title real quick and then post it on the Discord. But we can start right now.
All right.
Sweet.
Well, I don't know what episode of the podcast this is, but this is a Help Find the Others podcast. I'm Rubin, as always. Stan's here too. We haven't talked in a while, man. How you been?
I've been good, dude. Just chugging along, enjoying the new year, and I had COVID, so I'm finally at the point now where I'm. So you can still test positive after you are you're not contagious. So I'm in that gray area, but we're finally at the point now where we can celebrate Christmas. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. What about yourself, man?
Yeah, no, I've been good. You know, kind of same old.
How was your holiday season?
Pretty boring. You know, didn't really do nothing. We had like Thanksgiving with my mother-in-law and her boyfriend and his kids came over, and that was about it family-wise. You know, we didn't see any other family, and we went, like, we've been hanging out with our neighbors basically throughout the whole pandemic or whatever, and like we like rented a cabin for a weekend with them out of town somewhere, but like other than that, I don't know. Yeah, the break was sitting around doing nothing. So.
Yeah, no, it's been the same thing with me. Like other than spending time with my brothers, those are the only people that I really like spent time with. Since all this, it was just my brothers. Like, I don't want to necessarily, get my parents infected or anything like that. So, you know, I haven't really spent a lot of time with them either. But now, now that I'm went through all that with the COVID, like I got the antibodies and all that, so I think I'm pretty good to go now. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird situation though. It was I don't know. It was weird. Unlike anything.
Do you know where you got it?
Yeah. So I went to my brother's place to watch the Notre Dame Clemson ACC championship game. It was the weekend before Christmas, and the day before the game, they went to go get tested just to clear everything for Christmas week. And they went with my sister-in-law's folks, and they were the ones that got it. The sister-in-law's folks were the ones that got it, but they didn't show symptoms on that Friday when they went to go get tested. And then fucking snowballed into all of us getting it except one of my brothers. So it is but I mean, it was cool because, like, even in the middle of it, we were able to hang out with other COVID people, so we weren't alone in the journey of that. But it really wasn't that bad for me. And I mean, knock on wood, I got a pretty mild case. And it was just like the weirdest part and the worst part was definitely I couldn't taste or smell. So like it took the joy completely out of eating. There was a couple days I was like weak and lethargic, but it wasn't anything I couldn't get by. It was like probably 3 days that were bad, but I'm right now. I think I'm at like 3 weeks after my positive, or like 3 weeks and 2 days after my positive. So we're good.
And you can taste and smell again?
Yeah, that lasted like 4 days. 4 days or so. But now we're back at it. I was taking kratom during that whole time. That helped out a ton. It like helped so much for the energy that was lost during it. Like the being so lethargic and tired, you could take some green, and a little bit of red, and would dull the weakness part and give you a little boost of energy at night. And I could power through it all. It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's good, man. I mean, it definitely like that's what's so weird about this virus and stuff like that is like yours is a pretty common story, like I know a lot of people that have gotten it. A lot of people around me have gotten it. And like, honestly, Natural Born and Derek on our Discord server, they're probably and I've never even met them in real life, but still, like, they're probably the only people I know that have had like a terrible time from it. Obviously a lot of people have died and stuff like that. I'm not downplaying that, but it's just such a weird thing that, like, whatever the numbers are that people throw out there of like recovery rate or, asymptomatic or whatever rate where it's like 80 to 90% of people that this virus encounters, it's like no big deal. Like, that's so weird. Like, what is it about? Because everyone points fingers at the people that do get it and do get it bad and do get it in the hospital. And people be like, oh, well, you should have worn a mask, or whatever. Or, and there's people like, I mean, and I was this way thinking like, oh, it's all vitamin D. But then I know people that have been cramming vitamin D into themselves that get it and end up being sick. So it's just so weird. There's got to be some genetic component to it, that like, I mean, that's what sucks about like the evolutionary biology of this whole thing is like, this has happened before. The common cold coronavirus that exists, all throughout the human population, when that first encountered the human population, it killed probably more people than this because we didn't have medical intervention at that time. But that's the same way it encountered humans now, and it's like just part of the evolution of like not only our symbiotic relationships with other organisms and viruses and stuff, but our like how our immune system evolves is through encountering these viruses and bacteria. And it sucks watching that play out. You don't want to be one of the ones that died in the name of evolution, but evolution doesn't care, like, and so like, that's kind of where we're at, I feel like. And I don't know, it's just weird.
Yeah. I think it's an inevitable for a lot of people that luckily with the shutdowns and all that stuff, regardless of a person's position on it, luckily with those, we kind of staved off everybody getting it at the same time. I do think it's kind of inevitable though that a lot of people are going to get it. Like, it is so contagious. Like, we made sure we were 6 feet separated in that, where we were hanging out. But as long as you're in an enclosed space for over X amount of minutes and somebody's got it and they have a cough or something like that, it's over. You know what I mean? Like, I do think it's something that's inevitable, but we're trying to, prolong it so that we don't get overwhelmed in the hospitals and everything. And I mean, the vaccines, like they can't even, it's so short term that you can't even guarantee it's a yearly vaccine right now. You know what I mean? Like it could be something that's only a couple months at this point.
Yeah. I mean, they don't know, obviously, and they don't know the long-term safety of it. Like that does suck. Like, I think most people should take it, but, like my wife has like autoimmune issues and stuff like that. And so like, if you look at like the mechanics of the vaccine and what it does, like it actually interrupts the very process that is wrong with people, that doesn't work right with people that have autoimmune diseases. And it kind of it could do one or two things from my understanding of it, of like, it can either make autoimmune diseases better or make them a fuck ton worse. And it's like, man, I don't know if I'd be the first person, knowing I have an autoimmune disorder of some sort. I don't think I'd be the first person trying to figure that out, like I'd want some more data to come out about people with, arthritis or lupus or, whatever, stuff like that. Because man, I don't know. I was listening to Brett Weinstein on the Dark Horse podcast, like talk about it. And I don't know, kind of was scary, but I still think like if I was an older person, I would fucking take it, like,
well, isn't that how they're rolling it out too? Is like at risk first?
I'm just saying, like, I see people shit on people that say like, I don't know if I'd take that vaccine, and then people giving them shit where it's like, well, so one thing too is if you get the vaccine, you can still spread the virus. You just don't get hit. Hopefully don't get sick. Yeah. But it's not like it just fucking, the virus, passes you by. Like it can still be something that you're spreading. So it doesn't really do anything there. It just it helps our healthcare system more than the spread of the virus.
Well, I mean, isn't the plan that is basically going to be a flu shot at some, like, that's the ultimate goal for it, is just a yearly flu shot or something.
Yeah. Like, I don't believe all the people are like, they're going to mandate it for this and that. They might this summer just because it helps calm people down to go to concerts or go, to
Yeah, I was
whatever.
gonna say live events.
People
I
could
could
be
see
okay
it.
with
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But like, as far as going to school, some employers may, whatever. Employers can do that. It won't be a government mandate because of that, because it doesn't really stop the transmission.
Mm-hmm.
It just it lessens the healthcare system, or the strain on the healthcare system. But also, the phase 3 trial for the mRNA vaccines isn't over until like 2023 or 2024. They can't mandate something
Yeah.
that it is not fully approved. It's like given emergency use, but that's it. And like, until it's proven to be long-term safe and effective, they can't force that on anyone. I think that's all just kind of paranoia that people are talking about that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
unfortunately, that's what gets amplified.
yeah,
Just like the worst of the worst stories when it comes to this stuff is like that's what gets amplified. But the data shows that everybody my age, kind of goes through it okay, for the most part. And yeah, I mean, my brother was he's a service industry worker, and he got it. And he was like, dude, if this is it, like, why did we shut everything down? Like, just make it advise and an assumed risk. I mean, I get the frontline workers at the hospital. I get that. But like at this point, it's like, I think people have a good grasp on it. I hope. And it's like, let's figure out how to do this, how to get back into live events. And I mean, personally, I want to go to the live sports game, maybe that's a little greedy or whatever, but, yeah, I think luckily we've rushed to solving this issue. So,
yeah, I think too, once spring hits, like, I don't know. I know there's people worried about another lockdown and stuff. I don't think they'll do that shit again.
No.
Because like it hurt so much more than it helped. It delayed the inevitable.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I feel for everyone that's a nurse or doctor and you're on the front lines of this thing. Like, it's especially in cities and stuff where like the hospitals are, at capacity and stuff like that. It really, like, that has to be an impossible situation that I can't even imagine myself being in.
Mm-hmm.
However, I've just heard that like they really, after the first wave or whatever, like they really didn't like reinforce any of our healthcare system. It was just kind of like, okay, well, glad we got past that, and we're like kind of denying that it was going to hit harder. And I know like the hospital by my house, like they had like a big, tent out front with National Guard people there and stuff. Never anybody in it. And then they just took it down in the summer, and it's not up now. They're not, if they're overrun in that capacity, it doesn't fucking look like it from the outside, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I mean, everywhere is different. I'm sure in Chicago it's a lot different than than in the suburbs of Cincinnati. But yeah, I don't know,
dude. I was so like shocked by the city's response though. Like, they did so good with it. Like, I can go any day, and the wait's probably max 20 minutes for a free test. Like, it's just impressive. It's cool to see. It's the first time I've ever seen like the city come together for something that's non like entertainment based.
And that's one thing is like, I feel like, and I think we talked about it, hoping that this whole pandemic thing would bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it has, just not online.
Yeah.
Like, it's like out in public, I don't see that many people like making a big stink about masks, and like every now and then you'll see like some redneck family in Target or something like that, but that's about it. Like, everyone else is like kind of being very friendly, and like everyone just has masks on, which is kind of weird, and I don't like it, and would hate to have to wear it all day or whatever. But like, and I don't think it's done that much to help the situation, but it's the little we can do, and so I don't know. It's been weird. Like, we're doing basketball. I'm coaching my kids' basketball team, which is very unfortunate for them. And but like, it's kind of weird the way they have the games because not that many people can be in there, and like you have to like all leave like immediately. So like that's kind of weird. But like kids are still being kids, parents are still friendly, you know, it's all like that. But
Good.
then you look online, you look on Twitter, and look at people arguing about you know,
Anything.
anything related to the pandemic, and it's like, man, where the hell are you guys noticing all this stuff? Because like I don't know, it seems that like it hasn't really hurt community that much for the people that have decided like we're gonna just fucking live through this.
Yeah.
So I think it's like all the people that like are too scared to leave that are just getting fucking upset and starting shit online. I guess.
Dude,
I don't
I'm
know.
sure that's what it is. Just people that don't even look outside, you know.
Yeah,
Like, well, it just sucks that it's for profit business, you know. That's like, you know, they need clicks, they for the ad revenue, and what gets the most clicks, but you know, tragic things, you know. So they're gonna amplify the arguments, they're gonna amplify controversial opinions. If they know what your standard opinion is, they're gonna deliver the opposite to you. You know, shit like that is just like. Dude, I'm so far off social media now. It feels great.
Yeah.
Like, but trust me, I know what you're talking about. When it's just like people have an opinion on everything, you know. Like they, even if it's wrong, even if they find out later on it's wrong, they're still gonna hold that opinion forever. You know. I don't know.
yeah.
It's
Oh yeah,
frustrating.
yeah. Well, no, I'm glad. I'm glad I got rid of Facebook because,
That's huge.
like, when I say I see people arguing, they're people I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever. I expect people I don't know to be jackasses.
Dude, I
online.
swear half the Twitter shit is bots, dude. I swear.
Well, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I know it.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
They're just antagonizing. Yeah,
it's like, let's get these two bots to fight each other so that we get engagement on their posts, you know, so that the people that have that one side A like it and retweet it, and people that like side B like and retweet it. It's just like, it's a scam almost, you know, like we're being delivered bullshit, and I don't know.
yeah, and I feel so bad for people that get drawn into it and be like, I got to argue with this guy. And it's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't need to argue with that guy.
Yeah. Or like going down a rabbit hole of like a trending news story about like a celebrity. I'll find myself clicking on something like that, and then like halfway through the scroll, I'm just like, what the fuck am I don't care about this person. Like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. The only reason I do, like, I'll scroll through something that I didn't like, that wasn't either like retweeted by someone I follow or liked by them or whatever. If I do go to the news thing on Twitter, if it's something about banks or money or something like that, like I just go just to get a hashtag Bitcoin in there to, you know, like add to the trending. But yeah, like I just see, especially with politics and stuff like that, I'll be like, man, like people have these big long threads and they're nobodies. Like I understand if you're somewhat a journalist and you make your money, you know, doing some huge long Twitter thread or huge long Facebook post or whatever, and just fucking, oh yeah, and this, you know, and whatever. Like if that's what you do, that's cool. But you see so many people, and they're probably usually boomers, you know, that just write these fucking manifestos against the other political party. It's like, who are you screaming that to? It's going to nowhere, and like all it's going to happen is like you're going to say something you shouldn't have to your neighbor's nephew, you know, or whatever, and it's like it's so stupid.
Screaming into the abyss, man.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it helps people feel good about themselves, though. Oddly enough.
But I don't think it does. That's the problem.
Short term, I would say short term.
Yeah,
it does.
short term, it's like a endorphin.
It's a release.
You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
But then long term, like, wait a second, I gotta delete this tweet. Like, like I just fucked up, man. Yeah. But dude, how was the end of your year, man? And the start of the new year, man. Like we initially wanted to do this, you know, at the end of December, but then I got COVID, so that couldn't happen.
Yeah.
But dude, how was your 2020? How was the end of it? Let me hear it.
I mean, like New Year's Eve itself was weird. Like it was like I mean I don't normally, you know, I got that dad life, so like I think the last time I had New Year's without my kids, like without like me watching the ball drop by myself when everyone else is asleep, it's probably been about 5 or 6 years. But this year my son wanted to watch it, so like he stayed up gaming until midnight, and I was like, okay, but after the ball drops you're going to bed. So like he stayed up gaming, and then like he was so into his game that it was like the countdown, and I was like, come on. And he was like, what? Uh man, and he was like upset to leave. I was like, that's the whole reason you're staying up, but um it was so I watched like the New Year's Eve, New York ball
The
drop,
Ryan
and
Seacrest one.
I don't even remember who was on it, but it was just so bizarre. Live TV broadcast where they're trying to just make it normal that like even though they know normally like there'd be millions of people here.
Yeah.
And it's so like I don't know if it's all remote editing and that's why, but it's like even something like that, it had so many miscues and like dead mic moments and just like weird, and then like all of a sudden the ball's dropping and it was just weird, and like he picked up on it even though it was the first one he saw, and I was like, well, this is COVID New Year, like don't we'll watch it again next year or something, like it's just weird. And like yeah, like I said, like he could tell that wasn't the way it should be, and pretty, non-eventful. Um, but I don't know. Like I talked about it in my last live stream I did about 2021, and like, looking back at 2020, even with all the crazy shit going on in the world, um, everything all of us have worked on is, that we talk about and uh, urge each other on in our Discord to do and grow, really helped. Like, I mean, looking back, it was a great year, um, I'm sad for things that have happened for a lot of people. Um, and I've had moments of frustration of like cabin fever for sure. Being a parent during 2020 was very tough. Um, but I look back and it's like, not only did I make the best of it as far as like the situations that were weird all year, with not having, stuff to do with kids and stuff like that, but I think we got really close with all of our neighbors because like from the start we were like, we're all fucking hanging out. Like we're not, we're not looking at each other through the windows. So that really helped. Our neighborhood got a lot stronger. And then just me personally, like I think I grew a lot. I think from everything from like my distrust of government and not even distrust, just like that I see through their fucking clown act, um, and crypto and everything. Um, and like all the stuff I talk about gratitude and like how like no matter how shitty your situation may be, like it's amazing that it's happening to you and you need to be grateful that it's happening and be aware that like it could be a lot worse. Any bad situation you've been in, someone's had it fucking worse, like all of those things combined to be like, fuck, like that's the key to making it through anything life throws at you, because like I'm not saying it'll get better from here, but like 2020 is like as bad as shit can be thrown at people in this century at least, like I mean a lot of people were fucking blindsided by last year, and you know going forward I need to continue doing those things, and growing on that, and just constantly growing and learning, and I don't have any real like New Year's resolution or anything. It's just that like just fucking keep going, like you made it through a tough fucking year, and with my wits about me, pretty fucking happy. um I just need to keep that going, and not let winter slow me down, not let, you know if there is other lockdowns, if there is other shutdowns, like not letting that get me down, um just moving, just keeping it going,
I just focus on what's important, like like what's
Yeah.
truly important,
Right.
like
Yeah. I mean, I tell my family that all the time, because like my kids haven't seen my dad in over a year. My wife hasn't seen him either. Um, uh, we've done 2 or 3 Zoom calls. Like that's fucking it with my family,
yeah.
and uh, just like friends of my kids that like they'll. I mean, at this point, they may never see again. Like are our whole fucking temple like community that we would see on the weekends and stuff like that, like they're all fucking scared, hiding in their house this whole time. So they're just, whatever. Like we see a couple Zoom calls, stuff like that. And it's just like all these people, it's like it's really been a moment of like you see who your friends are and who you're important to and who should be important to you. And that's your fucking tribe going forward.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, you know, I'm not saying I wouldn't like let my family back into my life or whatever, but it's like, all right, I see what's up. Like you can't even fucking meet at a park.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay. Like
it's all right.
You're gonna let the government tell you that I may be unclean, like I ain't gonna fucking go if I think I'm sick. And if I'm asymptomatic, like we can wear masks and socially distance. That's what we're supposed to do. You go to the fucking store all the time with all the, people and you're cool with it because we're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, that should be cool with family, but it's not. And so like, that's been weird. A whole year of that, of like my fucking parents don't want to see my kids. Like
that is weird,
but that, yeah, going forward, it's like, I know that like what's around me is what's important,
Mm-hmm.
and who values me is who I need to like be worried about valuing, like it's not worth valuing someone that doesn't give a fuck, or at the drop of a dime doesn't give a fuck. So, yeah, I don't know,
No, I feel that, man.
Yeah.
There's like, it brought everything very local. Like it made everything super, super local. And, I mean, fortunately, my situation, I still have seen my parents, and we just mask up, But
Mm-hmm.
that hurts to hear that you're the situation with like your parents and whatnot, and like they won't even meet up at outdoors and all that. Like,
and so like I've gone over to their house. They when they need shit from me, they'll have me come over. Like it's really weird.
Yeah.
They're not at all interested in kids coming around.
that is weird.
Other than my niece, like my niece, she's in high school, and she'll come over, and my dad even hugs and kisses her. It's fucking, it's really
weird dynamic.
So I'm just like, all right, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Like that's just how I'm treating it. I'm not gonna let it get me down.
Yeah.
Like
You got your squad, man.
Yeah, well, and like the acceptance I've gotten, whether from friends, family, community members, whatever, is that like everybody is entitled to take and like calculate how much risk they are in from all this. At the start, everyone should have been like, I'm very at risk of this. A year later, most people should be like, I'm not really that much at risk. I'm going to be cautious, but I'm not in danger.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two different, that's why there's different labels on fucking household cleaners of caution and danger, and they mean different things. And there's still some people that are in danger mode. And we're a year into this. We've seen what's going on. Now, if I was in a nursing home and 80 years old, yeah, I'm in fucking danger, But if I'm a 30-something dad, that's got to go to work and wants kids to go to school, like I should just be at the caution level, and there just seems to be a lot of people that haven't switched over to that,
Yeah. I think it's slowly getting there, though. I think there's no doubt that a lot of people are joining that mentality. I mean, I even kind of see it in my parents, too, like who at the start were like very, very cautious, and now are like, we want to see our kids. It's like we want to see our kids. We want to be with our family. Like we'll do it. We'll do it smart. We'll wear the mask. But like we're gonna be with our family type shit.
Yeah. No, that's gonna be the final test for me. Well, not final test, but that's gonna be a test for me with my parents. Is like once they get that shot in their arm or the second shot in their arm, and be like, all right, now you're taking these motherfuckers for like a week, so I can.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
But going forward, like I think spring will be the big telling thing. If it's spring and fucking everybody's outside and I imagine you're gonna go in stores and like half the people are gonna have like I think spring's gonna hit and people will be like, fuck this. If if you're scared, take a goddamn vaccine. But other than that, fuck you. Like, I'm doing what I want to do. Like, I think there's gonna be a lot of people like that. Come spring. Like, I think people will hibernate for winter like they usually do, but I'd say in 2 months, the election's over, all that nonsense. Like, people could be like, okay, fuck you. I'm going to a goddamn concert. We're throwing this fucking festival. You know.
Yeah.
I think they'll do rapid testing at the door for festivals, and everyone will wear masks. But other than that, like, I think music's gonna go on this summer. You know, I mean, we've been having football stadiums with fucking people in them, and I haven't read anything that's like been a. I mean, they went through the whole goddamn season.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like I like.
It's all gonna be percentage based, though. You know. Like, I don't think they're gonna go full capacity.
No, not this year, but I'm just saying they're not just going to full out cancel everything like they did last year. You know,
we didn't know what we were dealing with at the beginning of last festival season, so it's
right.
just like, let's can it all. But I mean, it sounds like your view for 2021 is kind of optimistic, though, which is good.
I mean, it's optimistic for me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't say I thought it's optimistic for everything else, but I mean, virus wise, yeah. But then I think that's where all the shit we fucked up by the government overreach, that's all going to come back to haunt us this year. I feel like, you know.
How so?
I think. Well, I mean, like, take what happened with storming the Capitol, right? That shit's not going to calm down just because Joe Biden puts his hand on a Bible and says something. Like, you know, and it's like, so like, that's just going to like keep ramping up. Anytime there's a Black Lives Matter protest, it's going to be met with a QAnon protest, I feel like. And there's going to be street fighting all fucking summer long, just like last summer. You know, and then just the economy, like, that's why crypto's going crazy right now. I think crypto is front running, you know, the inflation that's about to hit, because like, I feel like a lot of companies didn't raise their prices on shit because, oh, it's a pandemic.
Yeah.
But once there's stimulus, once they're like, all right, you got your $2,000 check, now it's time to fucking, you know, bump up the price of a quarter pounder of cheese $1 or whatever, you know, wherever to see that. Russia and Saudi Arabia have been keeping the gas prices down to try to screw over the petrodollar system. So we're going to start fighting back with that and raising gas prices. So I think we're going to see, like, economically, this fucking year is going to suck, you know. But everyone that's like not hurting, they're going to go on vacation this summer. I mean, there's going to be a lot of spending. Like, all the metrics of the economy are going to look great because people are going to be spending money. All these people are getting $2,000 checks that don't need it. They're going to fucking blow that this summer. Once cruises open up and airline, you know, like, I mean, like, this summer's going to be like the roaring 20s. But meanwhile, they're probably in a lot of cities still going to limit capacity of restaurants and bars. So all the service staff that's still unemployed, like, they'll get unemployment benefits, but they'll do the same thing the government always does, and they'll run out, you know, when people really need it, start to need it. And I think our employment numbers are going to continue to look shitty, and we're going to have a whole, like, you know, 20% of our service economy or service workers just living off of unemployment. And then whenever the fucking government decides to pull that plug, like, the bottom's going to drop out. So that may be this year, this may be next year, I don't know. But we just, you know, the middle class was already kind of eroding, and coronavirus, and especially the government, like, response to it, just fucking took the final axe blow to it. And, like, they're just waiting for that tree to fall over, I feel like. So, like, I think crypto is front running that. That's why you see a company like Mass Mutual. It's a fucking life insurance company that, like, I mean, you see, you know, commercials on TV for them like that. And they bought $100 million worth of Bitcoin, which is nothing to them, for sure. It's probably 1% of their treasury. But, like, they're not in the business of taking risky investments.
Yeah.
And so if they are going like, hey, I'm we got to have some of this shit. Like, they've done their research. They know the inflation that's coming. They know that holding dollars is a bad idea.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know if companies like that, and there's plenty more, it's been like every fucking week there's some institutional like huge buy that it's like, what? We're seeing governments, like there's like 3 governments that came out that are mining it. I saw Kentucky is gonna offered tax breaks for Bitcoin mines that start. It's all going towards Bitcoin. But unfortunately, that it's like I've said a bunch of times, like the first bubble in 2017 was a greed bubble. The next one's a fear bubble. And that's what we're seeing, is that all these institutions are like, shit, we can't hold dollars. And so they're getting in, and they're kind of hedging the dollar with Bitcoin.
Do you think that a correction will be as steep as it was last time? I don't think.
Bitcoin?
Yeah, I don't think so. Just because of all the institutions backing it now, like they won't let it correct like that.
Yeah, like I mean, you could see a 50% correction or whatever.
Yeah.
But the important thing to remember is volatility is the price you pay for performance. So as long as Bitcoin is still going to post 200-300% years,
that's just part of the game.
Gains.
Yeah,
part of that game is like it's going to go through massive bear cycles. But the floor, where all these guys are getting in, that's the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
well, that's why I was shocked. Like when earlier this week, it didn't go below 32, 33 or something like that. And I was shocked because I thought this was it. Like I was like, oh, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it at 18, Yeah. And then now it's bouncing back to 40 today. So.
Yeah. But I mean, it all has to do with the dollar and inflation. Like
$1.6 trillion plan for Biden just got announced.
I saw it was 1.9, but still,
yeah, I mean, one of those two,
fake money. But so the other thing I saw was that our government budget deficit is $100 billion more than last year, and I also just saw. Now I like the guy. I'm not talking shit about him, but Bernie Sanders was just made the budget chair for the House, or the chair for the Senate budget committee. So they are obviously not trying to tighten the belt.
Yeah.
Like we are going to try to spend our way out of this problem. And that results in one thing, and that results in inflation, which shows itself in the Bitcoin price. And so before all this fuckery at the end of the election, I kind of thought, when I heard, Max Kaiser or other Bitcoin people say Bitcoin will be $200,000 by the end of 2021, like I was like, yeah, fucking right. Like that'd be great, but I'm not banking on that. Now all the cards are lining up where I'm like, well, shit, that actually, like, it kind of makes sense, And then when we were talking about it before we started recording, but eToro is sending out emails saying like, we can't get enough Bitcoin for all the orders. We're putting a limit on how much you can buy. Like, eToro's Alec Baldwin is the fucking spokesperson for him. Like, that's a big company that should have a lot of money to buy whatever they want to buy. But it shows that, like, that's how hard this bull cycle is, and the supply and demand shock, and like, it's crazy, Like, I can't. Anybody who's like, nah, I don't need to get any Bitcoin. You're not paying attention, And 2021, I think, is going to make everybody fucking pay attention.
Yeah. We, funny thing you mentioned this. So back in the last bull run, 2017, that was back when I was like giga braining altcoins and trying to like short-term invest and all that stuff. And I didn't see, the reason why anybody should have a top coin, because it's like, my coin's 1,000xing in a day, so why would I invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum that are only moving 100? But anyways, I decided, my girlfriend gave me $100 back then to invest. I invested it in shit coins. The only one that still holds value is Tron, but at the time it was 20 cents. so it doesn't even matter. But anyways, she was like, what happened to that? And I was like, I'll give you this is a fucking steal, by the way. I was like, I'll give you the Bitcoin value of that $100 on that day in today's market. She gave me $100 and it ended up being like $219 today. And so I had to pay her that out, which sucked. But, yeah, it's just crazy to see where it's come. And like, in what else I'm doing right now with my free time is live streaming. There's a cryptocurrency component, and hearing people that are so naive, and this is not me talking down because I was the same way last bull run, just proves that this is just the cycle. It's new people enter, new people get burned, but those are still cryptocurrency traders at the end of the day, and those are still people that are now in the market. So it's like seeing that firsthand and seeing it on the macro scale. It's like, whoa. It's like a third-person view of it all after going through it myself. And, like, honestly, that's one of the first lessons I've learned that, economically wise. This is, like, one of the first lessons I learned, and it was because I got freaking burned in 2017, you know?
Yeah. It's the progression is no coiner, shit coiner, Bitcoiner, whole coiner. And you have to go through all four of those phases. I feel like there is unless you have a really good mentor or someone being like, dude, don't fuck. I don't care what the fuck eGold says it's going to do. Like, just stack sats, and it's like, I've been in this long enough that I can put in the calculator, the dollar cost averaging calculator, and be like, okay, what could I have afforded when I first started, and look at it. And I'd have 3 times what I have now. If I just would have bought $250 worth of Bitcoin every fucking week, no matter what. And I'm not saying, like, the people that people follow, well, on Twitter, those dudes are pumping and dumping, and they're like expert traders that don't leave their fucking computer and have no fucking life, and they are not married to any of these assets. They don't pay attention to any of the economy, any of the macro stuff. Like, they are just watching charts. And as soon as they've got a point that they're comfortable with, they sell it. They don't believe in any of this stuff. They spread a lot of information to make people believe, because that's how they're pumping it. But they're the first ones selling. And then on YouTube, the people just want the fucking link, the clicks and stuff, like, they don't, like, it's all, you have to go through the progression yourself. And the progression is that shitcoins are great for a little bit, but, like, you have to get rid of them once it feels too good to be true. That's when you need to sell, and nobody does. Like, everybody gets caught up in that emotion of, like, this is it. This is good. This is the Ethereum killer, or whatever. And it's like, you have to look at the market cap, and you have to look at the network usage and stuff like that. And it's like, nothing touches Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everything else is just fucking games, man. Even look at Ripple, right? Like, Ripple was, everyone was like, that's gonna kill Bitcoin, right? At one time, there's no need for Bitcoin. We got Ripple or whatever. And then all it took was one. And I understand the SEC fucks with companies, and they're part of market manipulation too. But all it takes is the SEC lawsuit, and
tanked.
Ripple is fucking, persona non grata now.
Pulled off exchanges too.
It came out, all of their partnerships they were always talking about, like MoneyGram. That was a huge deal like 3 years ago. MoneyGram was like, oh, they're using XRP. MoneyGram came out after the SEC thing. It was like, we've never used XRP. We signed a future, like, development agreement with them, and we've never even thought about using them. And then there was like another bank that came out and said, like, 1% of Ripple's transactions are bank transactions. Everything else is just traders. And so, like, just all this shit came out, and that was the number 3 coin for years.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
Well, and dude, I kind of think the same way about Ethereum, because there's somebody that they can sue. They could just pull Vitalik or however you pronounce his name, into the courtroom, and Ethereum's going to tank no matter what, even if he gets off free, and that's why I think Bitcoin's untouchable. Because I get people that talk to me in my other venture that are like seeing the Ethereum run, bought in because it's a cheaper coin, and they're like, "Oh, it's Ethereum to the moon. It's going to pass Bitcoin." It's like I tell them, look at the market cap. They will never. If Ethereum passes Bitcoin's market cap, there's bigger problems with cryptocurrency than anything. That means that the whole cryptocurrency layout is fucked. You know, like everything will tank then. So it can't pass it. Like the only way it can grow is if Bitcoin grows and everybody follows suit. You know, but the biggest thing for me that confirmed that belief of being a Bitcoin maximalist, I guess, is the suing. There's nobody they can sue, and it's unstoppable. If a country says you can't use it here, I think that increases the value more than anything. You know what I mean? Like I that's what I look at it as. Like, you said it already. Governments around the world mining it, countries around the world, citizens buying it because their dollar means jack shit, and such a small point of a Bitcoin holds so much more value than $500 worth of their currency. Argentina, horrible in that situation. Obviously, Venezuela, and it's just crazy to see because and it's been 4 years since I've invested in this stuff, and it's like there's no stopping it at this point. Like I thought there was a potential to stop it, and I thought that when countries said you can't use it here, it was like, oh shit, we're fucked. Bitcoin's fucked. But then I realized the bigger picture of it all, and I'm just like, wait a second, this just means that's going to have more value because people still use it. They still agree upon a determined value. It's money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's always going to be money. So
yeah,
I don't know.
No, I mean it absolutely is.
Because that's all that money is.
I mean,
it's just an agreed value placeholder. You know.
And I think, and the macro view of everything is like all the countries, you mentioned, Argentina and Venezuela and Pakistan, like this pandemic ravaged world. Okay, maybe at the end of 2021, the USA and the average USA, citizen doesn't feel they need Bitcoin, but by the end of this year, most of the rest of the world is going to feel that they need it. And that's all that matters, and so most people have heard of Bitcoin now. I guarantee at the end of 2021, like everybody fucking knows about it, even if they don't use it, even if they don't have it. Like, it's hard to find someone right now that's like, if you say, yeah, I have a lot of Bitcoin, that is like, what the fuck is that? But like, it's going to be at the end of this year impossible to find somebody that doesn't know what the fuck Bitcoin.
Well, and and like we were talking before the stream, how it's just generational, and like seeing the advancement is generational. It's like it is going to be. It's crazy to see 18 to 25-year-olds the intelligence they have on that subject, because it's like it's the same thing as Venmo to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Cash App, PayPal, all that to them. So, I mean, that's only going to continue with each generation.
Which is great to see.
Oh, I love it.
I
love it. But I guess we should probably talk about psychedelics, man, into 2021, since that's kind of what we do, man.
Yeah.
What are you thinking for 2021? You got any trips planned out? Did you do any trips recently also? I guess I should probably ask you that.
No, I mean, I've microdosed quite a bit, but and done some microdosing and stuff. But it's just, nobody will take the kids. Like, it's that kind of thing, it's been a year of like, can't get the kids out of the house, so like I will probably once winter's over, go open up the house up in New York, do that by myself or maybe a buddy or something, and trip up there. My kids are going to camp for like 4 weeks in June or July. So that will probably be very, very tricky. My wife and I are planning like a road trip and stuff like that.
So they're gone.
So, gone for 4 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sounds like a great situation for you.
Oh, I mean, they're gonna be lucky if I come to pick them up. But and that, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really want to, like, because that's the other thing, like, looking back at 2020 and being like, man, that was a good year for you. Like, you really grew a lot, talking to myself. Like, I'm in a really good place to trip. I just can't, and um, so I definitely, can't wait for the kids to go to camp. But yeah, I mean, I think the world, like, I follow crypto people and psychedelic people on Twitter, and those are the two groups of people that have done good this year, so I'm glad I'm in both of those camps.
Yeah.
Because it's like everyone else has been like, oh my God, what the fuck's going on, pretty much. But like, yeah, psychonauts and crypto nerds are like, we got this,
Yeah, it's like this is what it's all been coming to. We've known this is what it's coming to.
Gonna happen. Yeah.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had the urge to trip or anything like that. I just started microdosing earlier this last week, and it's just take as I feel situation. But I finally like took the effort to like grind it up, put it in capsules and everything, do it as official as I could, and then I just weigh it out in the morning with my coffee, because there's various amounts in each capsule. And whatever there's one that I'm feeling I'm liking in that day, I take it. And I mean, I've done it twice so far since the beginning, and it's awesome, man. It's crazy how it just melts away the bullshit, though. Like I don't understand how how like you could put that on a label for a microdose and it's accurate. It's just like, this will melt away the bullshit, man. Like all the stuff you were worrying about, that goes away in about an hour. So just let it go. It's so cool. I love it. And my buddy started, he was just like, I can't keep doing this, dude. Like, I'm gonna be too happy, like my coworkers are gonna know something's up. He was like, I can't keep doing this. But no, me and my buddy both started at the same time, so it's exciting to like record results and just see how life changes while we're doing it, and see what's happening on the outer worlds while you're taking something in the inner world. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I've noticed, so I've been taking the microdose with like the cannabis capsules.
Oh wow.
With high CBD, and like I put a lot of I've bought like all these cannabinoid isolates, and like, so I'm always making this like super oil, and so I take that with the microdose, and like there's still that synergy, that you get when you smoke a bowl, right before you peak on mushrooms or something like that. And I've taken a microdose, like the same level, that'll just kind of barely start to feel it. But then if you take it with that cannabis capsule, like, it's a fucking, honestly, I would say, well, I guess cannabis is a performance enhancing drug for like sports and stuff like that. But like that stack of like the microdose and the, lower dose edible with a bunch of cannabinoids in it, it's a fucking like performance enhancer. Like I'm probably a little too fucked up to drive, but like for my job, like I like drive somewhere and then I'm like walking in the woods for like 2 hours. It's great for that. And like hills that have been killing me the day before, like I'm just fucking trekking up them. Like, I mean, it's pretty crazy how much gusto, I guess, it gives you, it could be a little like nerve wracking if you're doing that, like, and trying to chill and like be inside or watch videos or stuff like that. But it's great for like that microdosing experience, like stacking that with the cannabis. And like, I don't know, when they both hit, it's like, even if I am driving at the time, I'm like, I got to get out of this car and fucking start walking, and like, it'll be like, I'll come back to my truck and it's like 3.5 hours later. I'm like, damn, like that was a good 3.5 hours. Like, I don't have my phone with me. I'm just fucking looking at trees. Like, this is great. Sitting down, meditating on long. I've done a lot of that this winter.
That's awesome.
For sure.
It's been pretty mild then? The winter? Yeah.
Weather-wise? Yeah. I don't think we've had any snow. We maybe had like a
Oh,
dusting.
that's nice.
But there's been a couple cold days with cold wind, but like no rain really. And yeah, so work's been really good for me for that. Like um I've had a lot of, and that's another reason my year went so well, is like I get paid to have solitude in the woods that most people pay to go do,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like and I have a lot of access to a lot of like wood lots that like most people don't really ever fucking see. And yeah, man, I'll just be like walking and I'll like see like kind of a really, you know, nice looking log off in the woods, and like I'll just fucking go sit on it and meditate for like 20 minutes or do I've been doing I haven't stuck to like a schedule with Wim Hof,
Hmm.
but it's a kind of thing where like I'll use that to get into like a meditative state. Like I'll just do a bunch of Wim Hof breathing, and just like kind of get there, and then I can calm down and meditate. I've been doing that. I bought a infrared sauna.
Oh, how's that, man?
And
I know that's been on kind of like a bucket list type thing for you for a while now.
yeah, I mean it's a game changer for me. My wife likes it too, and so does my youngest son. But I haven't. I've only meditated in it a couple times. I'm usually listening to podcasts, but I put like it's full of like Himalayan salt, which when you have that like warm and in an enclosed space, it ionizes the air and like kills uh like pathogens in the air and mold spores and stuff. So it like creates like a really pure air to
Hmm.
breathe. And so even if I'm listening to a podcast, I'll do Wim Hof breathing in there, and like um I think it's really good for my lungs and stuff like that. I feel like um but yeah, no, I don't regret that purchase whatsoever. It's and it was really easy. Like so, I got like the cheapest one I could, which is usually not a good thing. But um, I read all the reviews, and the way the infrared saunas work is at a lower level. They're all the same fucking one. They just slap different brand names on them.
Gotcha.
So like I found a website that had like a unbranded one, and that's why it was cheaper. But it's actually you can get the exact same model, the exact made the exact same way from Home Depot for twice as much. So like I felt good. I did enough research price wise, but it came in like two boxes on a pallet. Um, the only thing that sucks is I hurt my back, so like I couldn't unload it for a couple days, so it was just sitting in our garage. My wife was like, "What the fuck is that?" Because I like surprised her, and then like she saw the packing slip. It was like, "Oh my god," and I was like, "Yeah, I know. I'll put it together when I can like lift stuff." But then my neighbor came over and helped me and put it together. It was like all it is the bottom and the top and four walls, and you just like clip them together. You don't even like really screw anything together. Um, and all the like wiring, you just hook up wires like extension cords that are all coming out of the walls, and that's it. And it all comes up to the top, and it was like super easy.
And it heats up really good.
Yeah, it heats up to 140 degrees, and
Can you handle it like
it
maxed
takes
out?
for about 20
Okay.
minutes. I'm building up my tolerance, but like it cooks you from the inside. That's the thing. When you first get in, you're like, "Oh, this is all right. This is nice," But after like 20 minutes, like you're like, man. And it is like that's the way the infrared works. Is like because I think like a steam sauna gets up to like 170. I bet I don't know if Rich from the Discord has ever like taken a temperature reading in
The
his
sweat lodge.
in the sweat
Yeah.
lodge. I bet the sweat lodge gets up more than 140. But either way, like the way the infrared works, you're like in a big microwave. It's like activating your molecules from the inside
That's
out.
crazy.
And yeah, after 20 minutes, like you definitely feel that. And you're like, oh man, I mean, just dripping sweat. Like it's
Do you have it
crazy.
inside your house or outside?
Yeah, I have it inside.
Inside.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. I was gonna put it outside, but I was like, man, it's gonna fucking get rained on and
Dude,
go
that's
to
one
shit.
purchase like I've always wanted to get. I used to always find a gym membership that had a steam room just to sweat everything out. But I mean now there's like no reason, to even
Yeah.
be a gym member.
No, I've done it all but like a couple nights since I've got it. Like it's my routine.
Nighttime
Um,
or in the morning too.
nighttime. Um, although like work's been kind of slow the past couple of days, so like I did during the day yesterday. Like that was my I took like after like some meetings and calls that I had, I was like, before I leave, I'm gonna get in the sauna, like, which is weird, but I just felt like it. I don't know. So, no, I'm definitely a sauna guy now.
That's awesome, man. I could imagine like microdosing in there, like being something crazy too.
Well, see, I've thought about that. I've definitely, I'll do a bunch of bong rips before I go in. I've definitely been high as fuck in there. But I was thinking about that because I know, like the sweat lodge ceremonies, they eat mushrooms and stuff like that. And I don't know. I'm sure I'll try it at some point, and I'll obviously have a lot to say about it. But I feel like I would not like it. I feel like I would feel claustrophobic and like
so uncomfortable.
Like I don't even know if I could just sit there without the heat on mushrooms. Like I feel
it's just tight packed.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel it would get kind of stuffy, and I'd be like,
yeah,
I gotta get out of here. Like it's one of those things. Like I'm sure I'll try it, and I'm sure it'll last 5 minutes, and I'll get the fuck out and be like, that was a bad idea. You know? But I mean, just as part of like a health routine.
It's a great addition.
It is. Yeah. It's supposed to be great for your heart and everything like that. And like, that was one thing I didn't mention. Like we had like a health scare in our family where my father-in-law had a heart attack.
Oh, damn.
Right around Christmas. And,
how's he doing?
Well, he just had another episode and he's going to have a pacemaker put in, I guess, or something. But, a scary heart attack though, because like, so he's a doctor, his wife's a doctor, and she was coming home from work and he was at home, and her sister and my brother-in-law texted her and was like, hey, come out and get a drink with us after work. She didn't get the text till she got home and got in her pajamas, and then when she saw the text she was like, I don't feel like going out. Luckily that's what happened, because he was just like eating a piece of chocolate or something and just fell over, and she had to do CPR on him for like 20 minutes until the paramedics came and had to shock him like 4 times. But he went to the hospital, got stents put in, and was out the next day. And then like, yeah, they just went to Florida, like, for vacation, and just tonight got a text that he's got lightheaded and they had to call an ambulance. So it's just all, I mean, he's older.
Yeah.
He's not even overweight and stuff like that, but it's just like his sister died of a heart attack.
It's scary, man.
It's just that genetic component to heart disease that sucks, and so like that made my wife and myself and the rest of our family be like, man, we gotta fucking
tighten ship,
take better care of our cardiovascular stuff. So so that's been a big reason I've been trying to like make it like a health routine of getting in the sauna every day, because everything I've been reading about, it's like cardiovascular wise, like 30 minutes in a sauna is as good as 30 minutes on a treadmill.
Yeah, I could see it.
So
yeah, dude, that's another thing that 2020 brought around, was just like focus on your health.
Yeah,
big time.
Sure. I mean, that, and like, I watched back to like the first video I made talking about the pandemic, like before we did a podcast about it. Like I did a video, and I mean, that's exactly what I said. And that's exactly like, you could take that and be like, yep, he was right. Because like I said, the government would do too much and it wouldn't really make a difference, but they would pat themselves on the back for it. And then anything that didn't go wrong, they would blame it on everyone else. And they would lie and say like, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say, which they did with the masks and other things. And then health wise, like I was like, you got to focus on your health, and like, that's the only thing you can do. And so, and that's not even pandemic wise, just everything. It's like, Yeah, I came out of that if there's one resolution of 2021 is like, um, I want to leave 2021 healthier than I went into it, I guess,
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I got to focus on that shit too. It's a must. Like, especially with like anything family wise too, that you see the patterns. It's like, oh shit, I got to do everything I can to make sure that pattern doesn't apply to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that. Dude, going back to a little bit of the politics talk though. I have found I've kind of been completely away from politics, like just completely. Other than I guess issues that really matter to me, like psychedelic wise, or I guess I pay attention somewhat through the cryptocurrency lens. But I do find it to be important to have somebody in the office that media is behind, just for civility and society. Like even if it doesn't, it sucks that that's the way it is, right? It really does suck that that's the way it is. But like having SNL type shows be a positive outlet instead of a negative one is important. Is very important.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm far removed from politics. I could give a shit less what happened in the election. And I'm in a fortunate position that doesn't faze me, But having Biden being in the office has produced a positive mentality to the masses somehow that seems to be a good turn of the page,
Yeah. I agree.
Although the other side's still going to fester and be there. There's no denying that.
That's what I was going to say is like, whatever happened, like we crossed a Rubicon that like, I just don't see the Trump fan, QAnon, patriot crowd going like, fuck it, whatever. It's like, it's too hot.
Yeah.
It's too hot, and last week wasn't the end of it.
Yeah.
And then also, while I agree that like the media and big tech has fucking chose a side, and it's very fucking obvious, and they're like, we control reality, bitch.
Pretty much.
Like, you're gonna have to dig pretty fucking deep to find anything that isn't what we say is the truth. That's scary. That the Trump being banned from Pinterest is scary. Like, I understand blocking his Twitter account, but maybe he's got some fucking dank brownie recipe that we need to see. Like, I don't know, but it's like, like this full like line in the sand of like, this company will not support anything Donald Trump ever again. It's just kind of weird and a little overkill. And it's going to make that situation. They're not just going to go, oh, well, I guess Donald Trump doesn't exist anymore because I can't read his tweets. Like, they're good. Like, it's going to be worse. It's kind of like, okay, so someone that believes in flat Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe they're not dangerous, but it's bullshit, and it's not based in anything, and it's dangerous for kids to like watch a flat Earth video and be like, maybe my whole school's full of shit. This guy on YouTube told me my whole school, all my teachers and my parents, they're all lying to me. My government's, it unravels a dangerous path, even if the message isn't dangerous in the first place. And you can post as much flat Earth shit as you want.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter doesn't give a fuck. Pinterest doesn't give a fuck. So why all of a sudden have we just been like, this guy's fucked up, and anyone who says anything about it, they're fucking banned too? What the fuck did you say, Ron Paul? I don't even know. You're fucking banned too. Like they're just banning anyone.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe the Federal Reserve banned. I mean, it's so like, I don't know where the end of that is. Is it just this week, or is this the new thing that Google's like, all right, we fucking, we control the matrix now.
Yeah, I mean, it sets a dangerous precedent. There's no doubt.
It's terrible. And you know, the QAnon crowd is all like, "Oh, this is China doing this, and Biden's in bed with China." And like, I don't know. I mean, Biden's going to play nice with China. He's not always going to talk shit about China. But I think both presidents, the same fucking deals are going to get. You know,
Yeah,
it's
either
like,
way, it's going to go down.
yeah, it's just the rhetoric against them is going to be different. But you know, I don't believe that we're like becoming communist, and like the only thing standing between the Communist Republic of America and what we have now is, you know, a guy with a buffalo skull and horns, you know, like I like that whole thing was just a circus.
Yeah.
Man. You know, I mean, and they keep saying like 5 people died. Okay, so and that sucks. I feel sorry for their families, but one of them climbed through a window that a Secret Service agent was pointing a gun at her on the other side of the window. Like, I don't know much about government, but that's one thing. It's like if a Secret Service has his gun drawn at you, don't jump through the window between you guys. The other one, I don't know if you saw this. The other death in that brouhaha was a guy who brought a taser in and had it in his pocket and was trying to steal a picture of Tip O'Neill, who was I think he was a senator of Georgia. I can't remember, but I remember his name a lot in the 90s. But anyway, he was trying to steal a picture of Tip O'Neill, and he fell off a step stool and tased himself into the balls until he had a heart attack.
What?
That's one of the deaths of the 5 that they keep saying, like, Donald Trump incited a riot that caused death. It's like one of them guys tased himself in the balls. Let's knock that number down to 4. Sorry.
Yeah,
like, you know, yeah, he broke in a museum and tased himself. Like, it's cool to not have that in the death count. But anyway, and I know a cop died and people got trampled. It was a nasty scene. I get it. But it goes back to too, like, why are y'all taking that serious? Why are you putting your life on the line for an election that was a fraud before anyone cast a vote? You know? And so, like, I can't really feel bad for the situation. I was laughing at it, you know? I was watching it like it was a joke. I told my kids or my older son that was paying attention was like, what's going on? I was like, it's just fucking nonsense. Don't worry about it. You know, like, I mean, I wasn't even going to like try to explain what the fuck was going on because it's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's all just rich white dudes fucking getting people to pick sides to support them.
Yeah.
You know? And so, like, and it goes to show too, like, I think one of the biggest things I got out of the whole Capitol Hill thing, it was, you know, someone was like, remember, this is what the Capitol Hill steps looked like when there was a Black Lives Matter protest there. And it was like wall to wall soldiers, you know? So that goes to show they fucking just let these dudes in. I've seen plenty of videos where they just like moved the fucking, the guardrails and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely one part of it that was just sick.
I mean, that's very fucking telling, you know? And I don't know if it was because I've said from the start that the Republicans just needed Donald Trump to get, you know, tax breaks and judges. And as soon as they could, they were going to turn their back on him. I didn't know how that was going to go down. I think this is how, because you've seen that, you know, with Mitch McConnell, other people turn their back, you know, like, oh, this is reprehensible what he did, you know, or whatever.
Let's impeach him again.
It's like
that type of stuff.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, like, you were waiting till, and of course it's because of the fucking Georgia runoff. They were trying to see where the Senate was going to land, and once that was over, they're all turning their back on him, and I knew that would happen. You know, whether he won or lost, like, even if he would have won, the course of the next 4 years would have been the Republican Party
distancing
at odds with Donald Trump. You know, so it just worked out this way. It's part that I think a lot of it comes down to, like, the Rage Against the Machine lyric. You know, some of those who burn crosses are the same that run work forces. Like, I think there was a lot of the Capitol Hill police that agree with the protest and think that the election was stolen and stuff like that. And they were like, yeah, fucking go fuck shit up in there. You know, I think there's a lot of that too. But either way, like, I feel bad for anyone that was watching that was like, yeah, this is a revolution. Because, like, I normally, like, there's plenty of times in history where there should have been angry mobs that broke into the Capitol building and did what they did. Just not over this. Like, when the marijuana, like, tax act was passed in 1913, that should have happened. When, when the bank bailouts happened in 2008, where they were like, we're going to bail out the banks, but sorry, everyone else has to lose their home. Like, all those homeowners should have stormed Capitol Hill and broke in and stole pictures of Tip O'Neill and stuff like that. But this was like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
That is crazy to look at it through that perspective, man. It's like all it took. It didn't take something serious. It just took some memes. That's what it really took.
Yeah. Right. You know, and I mean, it's like, okay, so a fucking rich asshole that convinced you that he cared about you lost an election that may or may not have been, you know, fucked up because of mail-in ballots. I don't know, but I don't care. I didn't care in the first place.
Yeah.
None of those people down there were Joe Jorgensen supporters, and that's who I voted for. So, like, I don't care about this, and it just looked like a, you know, like a redneck Comic-Con kind of, you know, like, I mean,
yeah, it was another situation where whoever wins, everybody loses. Like, that's it, the election and that moment, both. Just whoever wins this fight, but everybody loses. There's no winner.
Yeah, the only guy I fully support in all of the videos I saw of the Capitol Hill riots was the guy that I think he said his name was Big O, and he went into Nancy Pelosi's office and stole her mail.
I didn't see that. I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Like, there was like pictures of him like sitting in her chair, and then they interviewed him outside. He's like, I left a note. I told her Nancy Big O was here, and I stole your mail. And he had like a letter addressed to I was like, that's great, dude. But I mean, you know, you're gonna get arrested for that, right? Like, that's definitely not gonna be cool. But
yeah, it was definitely you could see it through comedy, though. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
I mean, it's another like, what a fucking time to be alive moment.
Yeah.
Other than that, like that's what I got from it the most, was like, what a fucking time to be alive. But you know, at no moment did I be like, oh my god, our government's in shambles. I was like, it's in shambles before that. This is a result of everything that's been happening.
Yeah.
This isn't the start of anything. This is what happens.
Yeah.
This is peak two-party system.
Yep. It's the pinnacle of it, I think. Like, I'm hoping that it's the turning point, but we'll find out.
Yeah. But I mean, I just I heard on Rogan, I don't know if it was his joke or someone else's joke, like, as far as Biden goes, where like, okay, it's great, Biden won, the media will be behind him, there will be a narrative that's pushed very hard of like, we're recovering now, we're on the right path, but in reality we're on a dark path through some dark woods, and the flashlight we chose, the batteries are dying in it, you know, and like that's I still feel that way about Biden. It's like I hope that like he's putting the right people around him that will be forward thinking and get us through the difficulties that are going to face us economically and socially. But him as a person, I don't have a lot of faith in. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be a weird 4 years if he makes it. You know, we'll find out.
And I mean, that all goes. That's why Bitcoin's price is going crazy, is because like it's showing the world is like, yeah, the U.S. jumped the shark.
Yep.
You know, like that's the Capitol Hill thing was us jumping the shark.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I agree. I think that I just think there's such an amazing amount of things that contribute to the price of Bitcoin. And I mean, obviously the U.S. government, it's just crazy to me how much the U.S. government has, or I should say the U.S. dollar has in manipulating the price of Bitcoin. Like, if there's an influx, Bitcoin price rises. If there's an influx of USD, the Bitcoin price rises. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy to me to see that occurring, and it's just blatantly obvious, and people still deny that there's any correlation between the two. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I'm 100% bought into the narrative of store value and replacing gold and all that.
I still try to educate myself on the opposing side, though. So I don't want to be tunnel vision into just believing this, right? Like I want to see what the opposition's saying as well.
And I do too on Twitter. I watch all the beefs with people, and they don't. Like there was one lady a little bit ago, I forgot her name was like Frances Coppola or something like that. And like she's some economist that writes about inflation and all this stuff, like should know her shit. And her argument against Bitcoin was like, it's divisible an infinite amount of times, which means it has no value. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know, like people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? And like she just showed herself to be an idiot and just started blocking everyone. And like that was it. You know, that was her 15 minutes of Twitter fame, was like insulting Bitcoiners by showing her ignorance and then blocking them all.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay, well, see you later.
Somebody I just met who's opposing it. He is well off, retired, likes to invest. He was actually he was like on the stock floor, one of the traders on Wall Street, all that good stuff in his prime. And crazy enough, the person that sat behind him was the person that created Ether Delta. And he made a shit ton of money on that. And now he thinks cryptocurrency is a complete scam. And I'm just like, and he'll say cryptocurrency is a scam. And like, that's his reasoning in not investing in it at the moment. It's like, it's a scam. But I'm just like, if you really think about it, the USD is kind of a scam as well. But even beyond that, it's like, dude, this is how you got to the point that you could retire in your 40s, you know, is cryptocurrency. Yeah. So like, how could you say it is a scam? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, but
cryptocurrency as an ecosystem is ripe with scams, but it itself is not any more than the dollar. The housing market is, you know, I mean, all of this stuff is fucking made up. Don't get me wrong. You know, like the grid goes down and none of this shit matters, you know? So like, I get that. It's a game for sure. It's for sure a game, just like the dollar is.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like when I hear that as an excuse, it's just the same. Everything that's being used as an excuse can be applied to the dollar as well. And that's why I don't find that to be an acceptable reason.
Like, yeah, like I look at it this way. And this analogy is used in a lot of things, but do you know the Harlem Globetrotters?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know that like they always play this
the
team,
Washington Generals. Yeah, they always beat them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the U.S. economy has been the Globetrotters and the Washington Generals for hundreds of years now. You know, like 100 years at least. But it's been the haves and have-nots, and it's been a game that they're playing. And they always make the Washington Generals think they're going to win, but they're not. That's not in the fucking game script. Bitcoin is a game too. It's just we're picking sides right now. We don't know who's the Generals and who the Globetrotters are. You know what I'm saying? And so like we'll get to a point where it is a complete fucking scam and like you're screwed. But that's why it's so important to be an early adopter. You want to be a Globetrotter, you don't want to be a Washington General and whatever the fuck's about to happen. You know, and like that's how I look at it. Like it is a game, it is a scam. It is a pyramid scheme. You know, for the number to go up, you need someone to buy at a way higher price than you bought. You know, that's the stock market. That's life. You know, that's finance. Everything's a pyramid scheme. If that's what you consider to be a pyramid scheme, then everything in finance is a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Every investment is a pyramid scheme. Everything's a greater fool theory or whatever. The difference is Bitcoin is bigger than like one like evil mastermind, like, now I got them. You know, it's way bigger than that.
Yeah. No, I never would have thought of it like
The
that.
the only thing that scares me is quantum computing, and that like Bitcoin is a great technology for now, but that the next huge technological leap, which is quantum computing, will make it obsolete. That scares me.
Yeah.
But I can't really do anything about that right now. So
You're not going to design your own quantum computer.
no.
No, yeah, I think the same thing. I think the same thing where it's just to me it's just like I just don't want to get trapped in the tunnel vision. That's all. You know. And
Yeah.
I'm trying like even at this point Bitcoin's at 40K. I'm like should I cash out some? Like last time you were at this position that was at an all-time high, you lost it all, and like should you cash out some? And it's like I've come to the conclusion that if I don't need it, leave it in there.
Yeah.
But if you do need it, now's the time to take some out.
Yeah. I mean, everything, when you have those thoughts, you're thinking like a trader.
Yeah.
Which is not bad.
Yeah.
It's just that's what you're thinking. You're thinking of maximizing profit. You're thinking of, selling high, buying low. If you think of it as investing in the future and hedging against a rainy day when it comes to global economy, then the price doesn't matter. It's nice to look at my portfolio with
true.
A lot of zeros.
True. Yeah.
But it's not why I'm doing it,
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, yeah, if I need it, it's something that I can borrow against. It's something that I can sell. It's something that I can liquidate.
Yeah.
It's like real estate,
Dude, it was crazy about real estate too. Is I had a family member just purchase a house, and one of the payment options was cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah, I think in the next 3 years, you will see on most major websites online, you will see a dollar price or euro price or whatever, and a Sats price.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be that widespread, that easy to use.
I hope so. I mean, I hope so. That'd be cool. Like, I mean, at this point now, though, there's still so many ways. There's still so many ways to make that the case that it's like it's already happening in front of our eyes. Like there's. Do you know Bitrefill? It's just a cryptocurrency market for gift cards, and they have gift cards for freaking everything. Excuse me. The one thing they don't have is like Visa cards, like prepaid Visa cards. But everything's 1-to-1. It's not like Paxful where you get a shady dealer trying to sell you like a stolen gift card or anything like that. It's 1-to-1, so it's an accurate perception of the price, representation of the price, not perception. And you can essentially exist on cryptocurrency and gift cards. No trace of anything hitting your bank, just gift cards. And like that's the beginning of that process in my mind. That's the beginning of that. It's just they're not. I don't think they'll allow a widespread. The government will allow a widespread adoption of cryptocurrency for sales until they can figure out how to tax it properly and trace it properly.
Yeah,
which I don't know if that'll ever happen, honestly.
They seem to be working towards.
They're
that.
Getting close.
I mean, it just depends on how the new administration is. They might be too distracted, but I mean, the SEC and the CFTC and stuff like that, and the comptroller of the currency, like they seem to all be on board. Like they're definitely making it that, hey, banks, you can deal with this shit. Like there's nothing wrong with it.
But still,
especially stable coins,
though, isn't it? In the eyes of the tax man, it's still treated as an asset instead of currency.
Yeah,
which sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a while for the government to figure out what it is because it's a little bit of everything. Everything that's ever been bought and sold in humankind, like Bitcoin, is all of it. You can look at it from any angle of finance and value. It's a commodity, it's a currency, it's an asset, it's a equity.
Yeah.
It's real estate. It's digital real estate. It's gold. It's everything. Um, so until they realize that it's completely unique, uh, it'll be crazy volatile. But once they figure that out, that's when it'll be like, okay, this is what Bitcoin is. Like everybody knows what it is. It's just this fucking gelatinous layer of value that exists on the internet, and everybody deals in it. Some people have a lot of it. Some people just use it when they need it. Some people still think it's bullshit. Like it'll just kind of always be that thing.
Yeah. What are the big talking points that you always brought up that I see more and more with what I do every day is like accepting that it isn't that dream scenario, or I don't know if it's a dream scenario, but that scenario of like, this is overtaking the economy, this is going to replace the USD. That's not it. It's an alternative. And like, that is what the heads of these financial establishments are now saying, is like, this is alternative. This is not it. It is an option of it. You can choose this or that, and this is one of those two options now.
Yeah. It's plan B.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
For now, but then it'll just be absorbed into plan A, I feel like. I don't know. But it'll change so much shit along the way that it'll be and already is revolutionary, but just not the way that like everyone originally thought. It'll settle somewhere in the middle, just like everything else does.
As long as the value keeps going up, I'll be happy. That's
I mean, and yeah, I mean, all that, taking all that into account, that means like everything goes up and to the right in life.
Mm-hmm.
Every chart you've ever seen, especially of finance, but other shit, everything goes up and to the right. That's like that's where we're going, up and to the right, and so, and that's the other reason, like when people are like, when would you sell? It's like, I don't know, when I need it.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's in the middle of a bull run.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's like, I don't know. If you're on the train long enough, like you just want to see where it's going, I guess. I don't know. But like, if you're on the Bitcoin train long enough, like you're in profit anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know how much I put in at this point, but I know it's a lot less than what my portfolio value is,
Same here.
And I mean, that's what I tell everybody that asks me, like, am I too late? It's like, no. I mean, you're too late if like you're trying to like cash out in 6 months. Yeah. Like you're probably going to get fucking burned.
Yeah.
But it's not too late to start putting some skin in the game and start learning what the fuck's going on.
Yep.
Watching the cycles, watching the psychology, watching the sentiment on crypto Twitter and whatever. It's not too late to start fucking learning. It's never too late.
Yeah, man. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about tonight?
No, I mean, yeah, we talked about politics. My live stream I did the other night, I meant to talk about politics more, and got sidetracked by the comments and got pretty weird with it. I don't know if anyone watched that, but you should check it out. But started talking about simulation theory most of the time, and then some guy was giving me hell about global warming and stuff for some reason. But no, it's good to talk politics because I didn't get to really touch on all the riots and protests and stuff. So it's good to talk about that. Yeah, no, man, that was it.
Sweet. Well, I'm gonna shout out everybody that stopped by in the chat for sure. Will was here, Valentine, Natural Born, and Derek were here. D Lars, AR, the pothead, tremendous. Thank you guys for all your comments and everything. Some people were just following along and kind of adding to the conversation. Will said he tripped on New Year's, which is pretty cool. I'll have to talk to him about that for sure. I think we're gonna do a podcast soon. But yeah, man, dude, it was good catching up with you, dude. Like with my new thing that I'm doing, I'm working literally every day. I get one day off, and when I'm not working, I'm thinking about it. So it's been crazy, but I'm happy that we found time to do this and kind of just touch base,
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, and thanks for everyone that stopped in and commented everyone that's Discord regulars.
Yeah, I'll post a link to that actually right now in the YouTube chat just in case.
Yeah, I love you guys. I hope everyone has a good 2021 and keeps moving up and to the right.
Yeah, man. We'll do more of these soon too. I feel like we should at least do a one a quarter. I think that's a realistic goal. And then if guests, we get guests. But Derek said, please more drug talk on the next one. Love you guys. Hey, love you too, man. We'll make sure we get that in. But sounds good. We're signing off. Go ahead and say what you're going to say. Rubin?
Oh, yeah, no, man. Just thank you to everyone. And, keep trying to put out content. And I'll see you on the Discord.
All right.